Paul tells us that all may compete for a race, but only one receives the crown. So the stars seem to make it very clear for us which one is the one that cometh, which one subdues, and which one is a deceiver, is defeated, is trodden down. So we've looked at this star constellation, how they may be bound here to this sea serpent, and let's take a look and see what message these star names may give us. A great sea monster pointing us to perhaps the largest of Hashem's creation, Leviathan. 97 stars. Dendra zodiac is Nem, which means subdued. The brightest star in the upper mandible is named Menakar, which means the bound or chained enemy. So led around like by its jawbone. The next in the tail is called Difta or Denev Kados, overthrown or thrust down. So we understand he's been overthrown since the beginning, even if since then he takes it upon himself to ascend back to heaven, because I don't believe the devil and his angels are on the earth now. He just continues to be thrust out. I think we might be the ones that kind of invite him up there to be an accuser. But we know that who really can accuse us when Messiah's blood covers us, when he died for the whole world. The star in the neck is named Mira, which means the rebel. Its name is Onimus, for the star is one of the most remarkable. It is very bright, but it was not until 1596 that this was discovered to be a variable. It disappears periodically 7 times in 6 years. It continues at its brightest for 15 days together. M. Bade says that during 334 days it shines with its greatest light, then it diminishes till it entirely disappears for some time to the naked eye. In fact, during that period it passes through several degrees of magnitude, both increasing and diminishing. Indeed, its variableness is so great as to make it appear unsteady. Above Cetus is Aries. Dendra zodiac, its name is Tamatoris Aman, which means the reign, dominion, or government of Aman. The lamb's head is without horns and is crowned with a circle. The Hebrew name is Tala, the lamb. The Arabic name is Al-Hamal, the sheep, gentle, merciful. This name has been mistakenly given by some to the principal star. The Syriac name is Amru. The ancient Akkadian name is Bara-Zagar. Bar means altar or sacrifice, and Zagar means right-making, so that the full name would be the sacrifice of righteousness. 66 stars. Its chief star in the forehead is named El Nath or El Natik, which means wounded, slain. The next in the left horn is called Al Sheraton, the bruised, the wounded. The next near to be in the left horn is called Mesarim, Hebrew, the bound. And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. From 2 Kings 6:16. So these constellations are sometimes like holding up a scribbled image, and like for the psychiatrist, and he asked you, what do you see? The enemy or a friend? So understanding that many more of these should be pointing to the victor, it's Hashem of hosts. And like, I think when we have this fascination of the devil, then we can kind of inject that thinking that, oh, he's winning so much, and this fear of the devil. So it's kind of like, where are you at? So you could see some of my responses might have been like, this is 66 stars. It must be the devil, but 66 could be like for humanity. So here, maybe it's the blood being poured out. So these fish that are swimming upward are covered by the blood. So it's like this protection. And up here is this shepherd that we can look at. So like the purchase price, so that these fish are no longer bound, and the purchase was with his blood. Aruga, the shepherd, is presented as a charioteer safely taking his sheep home. Aruga is from the Hebrew root which means a shepherd. It is a beautiful constellation of 66 stars as well. The brightest star in the body of the goat points her out as the prominent feature of the constellation, for its name, Alioth, Hebrew, means a she-goat. It is known by the modern Latin name Capella, which has the same meaning. The next star in the shepherd's right arm is named Menkilnon and means the band or chain of the goats, and points out the truth that they are never more to be lost again, but to be bound with bands of love to the shepherd forevermore. The name of another star is Maaz, which means a flock of goats. Can there be any mistake as to who this shepherd is? It's interesting, it's a she-shepherd though, for the bright star in his right foot is called El Nath, like another in Aries, which means wounded or slain. This is he then who was once bruised or wounded in the heel. He is the good shepherd who gave his life for the sheep, but he was the great shepherd brought again from the dead, and is now the chief shepherd, seen in the day of his coming glory. Another star emphasizes this truth, for it is named Ayuk, which also means wounded in the foot. You could think that his bride, the church, is supposed to exactly mimic him. So it'd be good if like they're also shepherds. Like Jacob's brides, at least one of them, Rebecca, was a shepherd. The star marking the kids is called Gedi, kids. In Latin, the word aruga means a coachman or charioteer. So in the tip of this dipper is supposed to be the North Star. So this is definitely the land of the north here. You look where the king and queen are seated, then this could be like their chariot, their heavenly chariot. And so that makes sense why it's like a feminine. He rides the wings of the wind. So if it's like the spirit, which is kind of like Elohim, kind of like what comes from his side, like at least that's how I see it. And it's like his body, his way to communicate is in a way like he might have some kind of way of appearing, right? Even if he doesn't have a physical body. But the way I see it is like this is like his body, so how he appears to humanity. Some things can make perfect sense to me, but trying to make sense of them, to explain them, can make them not make sense. Here then is Perseus. In the Dendra zodiac, his name is Kar-Nem, who fights and subdues. 59 stars. The star in the waist is called Merfak, who helps. The next in the right shoulder is named Al-Ganib, which means who carries away. The bright star in the left foot is called Athik, who breaks. In his left hand he carries a head, which by perversion the Greeks called the head of Medusa, being ignorant that its Hebrew root meant the trodden under foot. It is also called Rosh Satan, Hebrew, the head of the adversary. So he's holding up the head of the adversary, and Al-Ona, Arabic, the subdued, or Al-Ghul, the evil spirit. The bright star in this head has come down to us with the name Al-Ghul, which means rolling around. It is a most remarkable phenomenon that so many of these enemies should be characterized by variable stars. But this head of Medusa, like the neck of Cetus, has one. Al-Ghul is continually changing. In about 69 hours, it changes from the fourth magnitude to the second. During 4 hours of this period, it gradually diminishes in brightness, which it recovers in the succeeding 4 hours, and in the remaining part of the time invariably preserves its greatest luster. After the expiration of this time, its brightness begins to decrease again. This just leaves us a few more constellations in the north. Cassiopeia. Ulgbay says its Arabic name is El Seder, the freed. In Passover, the Seder plate is the arrangement of the food on the plate. In the Dendra zodiac, her name is Set, which means set up as queen. Al-Bu-Mazer says this constellation was anciently called the daughter of splendor. This appears to be the meaning of the word Cassiopeia, the enthroned, the beautiful. So just like Christ has a rival, the bride has a rival. The Arabic name is Rukhba, because Babylon says, I sit as queen, I sit enthroned. This is also the meaning of the Chaldee name Dat el-Kursa, 55 stars. This beautiful constellation passes vertically over Great Britain every day and is easily distinguished by its 5 brightest stars, forming an irregular W. In the year 1572, Tycho Brahe discovered in this constellation, the very near the star, under the arm of the chair, a new star which shone more brightly than Venus. It was observed for nearly 2 years and then disappeared entirely in 1574. The brightest star in the left breast is named Shkedir, which means the freed. The next in the top of the chair likewise bears a Hebrew name, Kaf, which means the branch. It is evidently given on account of the branch of victory which she bears in her hand. The Hey is like a feminine in Hebrew, so it could like point to the bride, and then the 6 in Hebrew is like the Vav, the masculine, the connector. So if it's like a 66, it could just be like this is telling you it's about humanity, or the connector repeated. Cassiopeia is the host before the throne of Cephas. Here we have the presentation of a glorious king, crowned and enthroned in the highest heaven, with a scepter in his hand and his foot planted on the very polar star itself. His name in the Dendra zodiac is Pek-hor-ku-hor, which means this one cometh to rule. The Greek name by which he is now known, Cephas, is from the Hebrew and means the branch, and is called by Euripides the king. An old Ethiopian name was Haik a king, 35 stars. The brightest star in the right shoulder is called Al-Daramin, which means coming quickly. The next in the girdle is named Al-Firq, Arabic, the Redeemer. The next in the left knee is called Al-Ray, which means who bruises or breaks. And then Pegasus, but let's take a look at where we're at. For Perseus, we know that it is this promised seed that will crush the head of the serpent. So it seems to make it clear um, that this is like a picture of the seed here who holds up the head of the serpent, and it's right next to Taurus, so maybe you can see a progression. Maybe the head gets resurrected and slain again here, like Pharaoh's army remustered whatever's left, or obviously like lots of times of slaying the serpent over and over again, because this could be the body of Leviathan with this head of a bull. So we've seen the king seated on the throne and his foot on the North Star, and the queen seated with him. So maybe after they finish their marriage ceremony, then we see them proceeding out again on a white horse. So anyway, let's learn about this white horse that's now going back towards these scenes that we've looked at. Pegasus, Dendra Zodiac, there are two characters immediately below the horse, Pe and Ka. Peka and Pega is in Hebrew the chief, and Sus is horse. 89 stars, the brightest on the neck of the horse at the junction of the wing, comes down to us with the ancient Hebrew name of Markab, which means returning from afar. Like a second return, the star in the near shoulder is called Skeet, which goeth and returneth. The star at the tip of the wing bears an Arabic name Al-Genib, who carries. The star in the nostril is called Anif, Arabic the water. The star in the near leg is called Matar, who causes to flow. The bride that follows, she looks like she's falling. That's just how she's drawn. Maybe it could be all those that follow on white horses. The arrow we already mentioned, and the way it was drawn looks like it's more pointing towards the horse, not coming from the horse. So we've speculated where that's coming from. But the Hebrew name for the Sagita arrow is Sham, destroying or desolate. So it's what it causes. Andromeda, the one that follows the white horse. Andromeda, Dendric Zodiac, her name is Set, which means set up as a queen. In Hebrew, it is Sira, the chained, and Persia, the stretched out. 63 stars, the brightest star in the head is called Al-Firatz, the broken down. The star in the body is called Mirak, the weak. This kind of is pointing towards like this judgment where he separated the sheep from the goats. The star in the left foot is called Al-Manak or Al-Amak, the struck down. The names of other stars are Adil, the afflicted, Mizar, the weak, Al-Mara, the afflicted. Atreides speaks of Desma, which means the bound. So if we're in the context of a marriage feast, we know that even there were some of those who showed up without a wedding garment, at least one, and needed to get cast out. So this could be in the time frame of that, and then this white horse could be like the conclusion, more of Revelation. So there you have it. We've gone from this battle here in the south all the way up here to the north, where you see God seated on the throne. It's hard when it flips around on me, but yeah, that's pretty much all of them. So if I can get up to God's throne right here. So anyway, happy to hear your input, and also happy to get back to our Revelation studies. So good job on working hard on learning all these constellations. I pray it was helpful. and that Hashem blesses you.